Hey everyone, it's Lisa from Primitive Gatherings, and it's time for another Joyful Gathering Quilt-Along block. We are over halfway. This is 14, it's all downhill from here. We got this, we'll get all 25 blocks in by Christmas time. However, I think you're only going to get one this week because we can't fit in another video. We're crunched on time before, but we'll do two weeks in a row. All right, so there's your warning. All right, so it's 14. Make sure you go download from lisabongean.com and print out your block number 14. I have done a little bit of pre-sewing here. Like I said, we're crunched for time, so I did all the half square triangles already. That's your 2 rectangles that you're going to need, and you are going to need, let's see, what paper was that? 3/4 inch finished. Okay, so then I did do some flying geese. I did 3 of them, but I saved one for our video here, even though you're probably expert by now on doing flying geese. So I'm just going to lay those right sides together. And as you know, I cut all my things the right size. I don't use lock block rulers or anything like that, or any fancy tool. I just old-fashioned starch, precise cutting, and precise sewing. It works. All right, so I'm just going to sew the long side here on this triangle. I'm going to finger press that over quickly, add the next one on. It's always crazy busy right before we go to market. You never know if we have all the things that we need done before we go. All right, so there's my unit. I'm going to trim here, trim there, trim there. Okay, so now I can put my block together according to my diagram here, starting with the star in the middle. I am going to put that there. Oh, I guess we can sew these together first. So let's sew these all together first. No, they didn't do it that way. Oh, okay. I'll do it like the directions. All right, so I got a little star there. I have to square triangle to make my star. There we go. So many different ways to put a block together, right? There we go. Now that one should go that way. Doing it upside down. Whatever way you do this, as long as you come out in the end with the star block, you're good. Wrong. That looks better. Okay. How does that look? Does it all look good? See, to me that looks like way too much to sew at one time. All right, so I am going to sew these 3 first here. So I'm going to put these 2 together like that. And sew as much as I can without pressing, or until I have to press. So we got a little block inside our star surround. Okay, so these are going to go out. And this one's going to go in toward the center. go. All right, so now I'm going to start sewing some of these together. So I might want to start on the sides first. Not that you have to start on the sides first. Start wherever you want. We're all going to end up at that same spot. Make sure I sew it on right. Hopefully I won't have to get the ripper out this time, right? Like I did in that block a couple times ago. But it's okay. It happens. All right, so I got these ready, and I'm going to figure out which way to press those after I get this one sewn together. I like it when I don't have to use pins. Take a look. Looks good. Press those seams open. Fingers aren't working as good this morning as they normally do. This is a super cute block just like that. Okay, now look at those seams. I pressed them open, so it doesn't really matter which way they're going to go, so I'm naturally just going to press them to the outside, to the small triangle. Again, if you want to open those up, you sure can. Now I'm going to get the pins out. Yep. And I really love these magic pins. How many of you are using them now? I got a mix max of sizes in here, some long, some short. I prefer the shorter ones actually. So see how I got two different sizes here? This is a size I really like. These seem to bend sometimes. Peel that back to make sure that seam is lining up. Okay. Finger press. So how many of you thought you could never do these tiny shapes? I love it when people tell me that. They never did this before like this, and now they can do it. It's super fun to learn new things. And just every day, keep learning, keep pushing yourself, keep trying new things. That's what makes quilting fun. what do we got? So those are going that way. So I'll maybe press these two that way, and then those that. So toward the squares and then toward the flying geese. This is a pretty block. All right. Much more pins on this one. 4 seams that we gotta make sure they line up with. I think it's funny when you guys tell me how many pieces are in each block. Because to me, it doesn't matter what size they are. Everything's the same. You're still sewing that same 1/4 inch seam. So what's the difference if it's a 12-inch block or a 6-inch block? Or a 10-inch block or a 5-inch block? We can do it. See what we got. Pretty good. This one is a smidge over, but not big enough to move. All right. Even though I pinned. So I use the strip stick when I have all these other seams so I don't mess those up. But when I'm only doing one seam and there's not anything else to mess up, I really don't use it. You can, if it makes it easier, and sometimes it does, than trying to finger press like I do. Get it started and then go from there. All right, move that out of the way. There's our block. Let's trim the threads without cutting my sleeve. These are some monster sleeves on this. Look at that. They like, so I'm like, push them up, push them up. Those flying geese always just kind of wing out a little bit. So that's usually when I trim, that's what I'm trimming, is a little bit of that flying geese shape. And the threads, of course. There we go. That one just needs a little help. I can definitely live with that though. There you go, block 14, all stitched, ready to go. And remember, block 15 and 16 will be next week.